In the Field with MFG Training Online. Small talk about big ideas. Thank you for joining us today on the ongoing series of marketing and business conversations with manufacturing owners, executives, and opinion leaders. Today, Rich Scorza, President of MFG Training Online, is speaking with Scott Nelson, VP and Controller of PRI Robotics.
Hello, I'm here with Scott Nelson from PRI Robotics in Plymouth, Minnesota. Scott's the VP and Controller out here. And we're going to talk a little bit today about his business and about marketing within PRI Robotics. Hello, Scott. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Rich. And yourself?
Good, very good. And right away, tell me a little bit about what PRI Robotics does.
Well, PRI Robotics is an integrator of robotic equipment. We specialize in robotic welding, material load, machine load, unload, dispensing, anything where there's repetitive movement and machines that need to be loaded.
I know you're a premier integrator. You've got some big machines here that you're a distributor for, as well as qualified engineering sources?
Yeah, we carry two lines of robots.
Oh.
Bannock, which is the market leader in the world, with about 52 to 53% of the world market. Okay. And then Panasonic we use primarily for our robotic welding applications.
We're pretty good friends. We talk over time, and the business is pretty good for PRI Robotics. It has its ups and downs like most companies. Right now things are going fairly well. I know your team is out on a big installation today, but in general, what challenges do you see a company of your size? I think you've got 50 or so employees.
Well, outside of marketing, number one is finding and keeping qualified employees. Because we are a small company, we need to find the best, hire the best, and keep the best around. That is always a challenge.
And that brings healthcare in and the price of equipment and salaries too.
Absolutely. And of course, for a small company to deal with those kinds of benefits, it takes a lot of work and a lot of strategizing with our partners that we use.
Oh, really? And could you cover that a little more?
Well, finding a good broker for your insurance, a good payroll company to handle all your payroll and HR issues. I don't want to be tied down with a lot of HR, so we partnered up with a company that helps us out with those functions.
Very interesting. And of course, Scott will take a call from anybody out there that wants to talk a little bit about this. But so, Scott, tell me, I know marketing with your team fairly well. We've been talking about it for a couple of years now, and I know your pipeline, like most small and medium-sized businesses, and frankly, most businesses in general, pipeline's the issue. But in the last year or two, besides having a great sales team, which I know a very experienced group, what sorts of things have worked for you in the last year or two?
Well, what we've really been focusing on is driving people to our website. Brochures for robotics really don't work very well. They can give you specs, but they don't give you what the robot can do. And people like to see things moving. Yes. Engineers like to see things moving. So we started about 5 years ago, and we had a DVD produced that was an introduction to PRI Robotics, and went through a couple of customer site visits. They did a little videotaping at our in-house training, kind of showing some things that would separate us from our competition. Now we have since moved on from that to looking at our website. We redesigned it. We went through a search engine optimization program, and now we're moving into pay-per-click with Yahoo.
Okay, before we get into that though, you do other things. I mean, you've done some seminars, I know. You push a newsletter out regularly, and that happened in the last year or so. That's been fairly effective.
Yes, the newsletter has been very well received. We get numerous comments on it and compliments, and we've also done some other videos as well. And so we're trying to get as many things out there that show what robots can do, how they can do it, and how we can help our customers be.
Without giving away secret numbers, are you seeing pull-through from the newsletters? I mean, are you getting signatures on contracts over the course of time then?
Well, I don't know that we can pinpoint any signed signatures, but it has increased. Our volume of newsletters has increased, and we've only had 6 people opt out of it from our original 600 and some.
Okay, so more people, when you say divide, more people signing on, and they're not kicking you out, which is a good signal. That means that your newsletter is probably pretty good, or your organization is interesting to them, and I think integrated robotics is very interesting for a lot of folks.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about what's worked in the past. You just mentioned Yahoo. What's going on with that? That's pretty exciting.
Well, we in May we decided to go with the pay-per-click program. So we went through with Yahoo and designed a couple of ads, and basically it's a sponsored link. So when someone types in Fanuc Robotics, we will show up above the line. Prior to that, we were having, we're down on page 20 or 30.
Yes.
Well, nobody's going to find you on page 20 or 30.
Now, are you vendoring that out, or are you doing it yourself? Or
we're doing it ourselves.
You are? Well, that is really exciting. That's exciting for a guy like me, because a lot of times I think there's a fear out there that somehow this is complicated. You're a smart guy, but let's face it, that's not your...
I'm not a marketing guy.
No, you're not marketing guy.
No, I'm a bean counter.
Yeah.
So
That's really exciting.
it was fairly simple to do, and we're still working on tweaking it.
Okay.
And it does take maintenance. I mean, you got to think a couple steps ahead.
Oh, that's good advice. Now, why, right away, the question out there is going to be, why not Google, why Yahoo?
That primarily was because of cost issue. Yahoo is a little more affordable.
Right.
We decided to get our feet wet going with Yahoo, and if it works well, then we would probably move on to Google and see if we can't broaden that.
I like that idea. Now, there's a couple other good websites. We know ThomasNet, Global Spec. You're familiar with those. You know those very well. Are you playing in that area and not yet? Or?
We looked at both ThomasNet and Global Spec, and the upfront fees we felt were a little prohibitive. You got to remember our sales cycle is anywhere from 12 weeks to 52 weeks or longer. So to put up that big upfront cost in order to get an ad in Global Spec, we're not going to see a real benefit from that for at least a year.
Like a lot of small businesses, you got to build that momentum first before you can start putting cash out there. They're both good organizations. They work well for the proper operations, I think.
They do. And if our sales cycle was shorter, if we were an impulse buy, it'd be different. But we have a lot of engineering and a long sales cycle. So for us, just to get people generating traffic to our website is the most important thing right now, so they can find out who we are and what we do.
Well, very good, Scott. Thanks for your time today. Appreciate it. We're here in Plymouth, Minnesota with Scott Nelson. Scott, thanks for your time.
Great to see you again, Rich.
You can contact Scott through PRI's website at www.prirobotics.com.